Measles, also called rubella, is a highly contagious and potentially deadly respiratory infection that is caused by a virus. Today we will explore all aspects of measles, including population affected, transmission and spread, signs and symptoms, treatment, prognosis, and prevention. Population affected. The measles virus affects 20 million people worldwide every year. The vast majority of these people are from developing areas of Africa and Asia, as they have low per capita incomes and weak health infrastructures. Sadly, measles remains as one of the leading causes of deaths of children globally. Although there is an effective and affordable vaccine available, there are still approximately 367 deaths caused by measles every day. This is the same as 15 deaths an hour, or 134,200 deaths annually. Any non-immune person or non-vaccinated person is at risk to be infected by the measles virus, and children under the age of 5 are the most vulnerable to be infected. 1980 is remembered as one of the most deadly years for the measles virus. In 1980, the disease was estimated to cause 2.6 million deaths a year. Most of these deaths were children under the age of 5. Each of these children had a 0.2% chance of death when they were first infected. Complications with the virus and malnutrition played a major role in the deaths, with 10% of the measles-related deaths being caused by malnutrition. Transmission and spread. Measles is a highly contagious virus that can be transmitted by coughing, sneezing, personal contact, or direct contact with infected nasal or throat secretions. The virus has the ability to remain active and contagious while either on a surface or in the air for up to 2 hours. It also can be transmitted 4 days prior to when the infected person starts to get their rash and realize they have the measles.
Signs and symptoms. The first symptoms of measles begin to take effect 10 to 12 days after exposure. The first symptoms are usually high fever, a runny nose, a cough, red and watery eyes, and small white spots inside the cheeks. This initial stage tends to last from 4 to 7 days. After this stage, the rash erupts. Its origin is the face and upper neck, and in 3 days the rash will spread rapidly, reaching the fingers and toes. A victim will usually have a full body rash for 5 to 6 days before it fades. Most measles-related deaths are caused by complications associated with the disease. Complications are more common in children under the age of 5 or adults over the age of 20. The most serious complications include blindness, encephalitis, which is an infection that causes brain swelling, severe diarrhea and related dehydration, ear infections, or severe respiratory infections such as pneumonia. Severe cases of measles are more likely to infect poorly nourished young children, especially those with insufficient vitamin A or whose immune systems have been weakened by HIV, AIDS, or other diseases. As well as this, pregnant women are also at higher risk, as the disease can cause them to have a miscarriage or a preterm delivery. Treatment. Once infected with measles, there is no specific antiviral treatment currently available. Although there is no specific treatment for the deadly virus, it is imperative that individuals infected receive good nutrition and constant hydration. Furthermore, antibiotics should be prescribed to cope with the eye and ear infections, as well as the pneumonia. Lastly, 2 doses of vitamin A should be given daily, as it reduces the number of deaths by 50%. Prevention. Although the best efforts are taken to prevent this deadly disease, the best way to be 100% immune is to have already had the virus. Authorities take several steps to try and prevent the disease in vulnerable groups. Routine vaccinations for children and mass immunization campaigns occur regularly in countries with high measles rates. In fact, the measles vaccine has been utilized for over half a century and has proven to be a safe, effective, and inexpensive method of prevention. In 2015, 85% of the world's children received one dose of measles vaccine before their first birthday. Despite this, 2 doses of the vaccine are recommended to ensure immunity and prevent outbreaks, as about 15% of vaccinated children fail to develop immunity from the first dose. Vaccinations have proven to be highly effective methods of prevention, as they are cost-effective, costing $1 per child, and have saved many lives. Prognosis. The measles disease affects 20 million people annually, but the majority of people recover successfully from the virus. Unfortunately, 6 to 20% of individuals experience complications, which can be highly dangerous and even cause death. But once an individual overcomes measles, they will be immune to it for the rest of their life.
Recently, there's been a lot of talk about measles. What does measles actually do, and should you vaccinate against it, or is this just hysteria? Measles is a virus, a hull of proteins, RNA, plus some more proteins for reproduction. It cannot reproduce by itself, it needs a host cell to do so. To understand measles, we have to understand the immune system. You might already have seen the visual system we developed to help here. Now, let's focus on the parts of the immune system relevant to measles. The measles virus enters humans through the nose, mouth, or eyes. The measles infection starts in the lungs. Measles is especially good at infecting the body's first line of defense, macrophages, powerful guard cells that protect the lungs from intruders. They enter a cell and take it over. The virus reprograms the cell and transforms it into a dangerous virus production center. Once a cell is filled with viruses, they leave the crippled cell and begin the cycle over again. But the immune system has powerful weapons against virus infections, natural killer cells. These cells basically patrol the body and check other cells for infections. If they find an infected cell, they order it to commit suicide. This is so effective that for the first 10 days or so, you will not even notice that you're infected with measles. And now, the reason why measles is so powerful. After a period of fighting and dying, macrophages alert the brain of the immune system, the dendritic cells. The job of the dendritic cells is to collect samples of intruders, travel to the lymph nodes, and then activate the heavy weapons that eradicate the infection very fast in a team effort. But the measles virus uses a dreadful tactic. It infects the dendritic cells and uses them as a Trojan horse to enter deeper into the body. The infected cells travel to the next lymph node to alert other immune cells. Once it arrives, the measles virus spreads around the virgin T and B cells and infects them. It attacks the very system that evolved to fight it. Now, things happen very fast. The lymph system spreads the virus everywhere and it enters the bloodstream, infecting cells while traveling. Measles infects organs like the spleen, the liver, the intestines, and most importantly, the lungs. The symptoms range from a very high fever, headache, sickness, bronchitis, and of course, a rash. In the lungs, the immune system was doing pretty okay, but now millions of viruses attack a second time and kill countless cells, wiping out the defense systems. In this phase, you start coughing out millions of measles viruses. Measles is so contagious at this stage that if you meet someone who isn't vaccinated, there's about a 90% chance you'll infect them.